And this is where Britain's top commentators speak out on controversial issues without the fear of the cancel culture sweeping the rest of the media. And the Church of England has sent shockwaves through their worshippers by suggesting that God should now be gender neutral. Bishops have announced they will be launching a major new project on gendered language this spring, which could signal an end to referring to God as he or even our Father in favour of non-gendered terms. Well, to give his opinion on this latest attack on common sense, our man of the people, the former Coronation Street star and social commentator Charlie Lawson. Charlie, goodness gracious me. So we're now going to change the Lord's Prayer to appeal to this woke minority? What's going on?
Well, what's going on is I'm going to try very, very hard in case the bishops of this fine country of ours are listening in. I sincerely hope they've been on the phone to Mr. Welby and said, wise up for God's sake, get on your knees and do your job, for goodness sake, because this is just crazy. There is absolutely nothing good about this at all. And I'm not sure whether I would be a Christian or not. I mean, I go to church for funerals, weddings, and I go on Remembrance Day. And very occasionally I will pop in if I have something to think about or whatever, for a bit of haven of peace and quiet. But I'll tell you one thing, if they start doing this and I was a borderline churchgoer, I would not be going to a church again if you couldn't say the Lord's Prayer. There's nothing good about this at all. It's not constructive. It's not helpful. And if he thinks he's trying to get down there with the kids, I'm afraid you're the Archbishop. You ain't going to get down with the kids, mate. You know what I mean? Just get on with your job. We're struggling to fill our churches, our country churches or whatever, and this ain't going to help at all. I mean, nobody's changing the Quran, and our evangelical churches, I believe, are doing
no one
very
would dare.
well. No, but you know what I mean? But I mean, I believe that the ordinary middle-of-the-road Church of England churches, where I live, I mean, et cetera, they have to work hard to get the congregation, and this is just making it another uphill battle, I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the wee donkey? What's it going to be? Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the wee camel, as somebody said. I mean, I despair, but I'm trying. Look, I'll be brutally frank. This is bollocks, but that's about as rude as I'm going to get.
Good. Very good. No, I agree. Now, look, elsewhere, Charlie, closer to your industry, this senseless march towards wokery sweeping the arts really shows no signs of abating. So Shakespeare's Globe Theatre has shown with its latest inclusivity initiative some madness. So after 400 years, delighting audiences around the world, A Midsummer Night's Dream will now be sullied with a trigger warning against misogyny and racism, with the ticketing team today explaining it was in response to previous complaints from audience members. I mean, what is going on in your world, Charlie?
Well, I'll tell you what is going on very quietly, and that is if you bother your rear end to talk to actors quietly in the pub when there's no danger of anybody knowing who they are, quite frankly, most of them say, I really don't understand this at all. Now, the Globe will attract a certain amount of regular customers, and some of them may be offended, but, this is another question of where are we going to stop. I was just glancing at my complete works of Shakespeare today, as you do, and I mean, Romeo was 16 and Juliet was 13. Now that's we know what that is. So what are we going to do? We're going to change that. I mean, is King Lear ageist? And I mean, what sort of warnings are they going to put on Othello, for God's sake? But they're following, I wonder what Sam Wanamaker would make of this, who founded the Globe Theatre and did the restoration and built the damn thing. I wonder what Sam would make of it. But also, I don't know where this is going to stop, but it's all a bit bloody silly, really. But I mean, I'd like to work again, Dan, so I'm not going to go any further than that.
No, very good. Very good. But look, let's move on, because Britain's balmy councils have baffled the nations once again. This is after a 68-year-old nurse in Kent was fined £100, Charlie, guess what, for feeding the ducks. So this is the dementia nurse, Susan Watson, who was slapped with the punishment in Tunbridge by the Borough Council after she was witnessed dropping a crust of bread into the River Medway. I mean, number one, I can't imagine the Ducks of Tunbridge will be too chuffed with this decision. But, Charlie, come on. Are we starting to live in some sort of surveillance state where you can no longer feed the ducks? How was this against any rules?
Well, 2 points on this, Dan. Firstly, I wish I'd been in the park because I would have booted this fellow or woman up the arse and thrown them into the bloody pond themselves. And now there are certain times. Let me tell you, if you're in County Fermanagh in Northern Ireland and you're on Lough Erne and you tie up at the jetties, it really is a pain in the ass when people feed the geese, the Canadian geese and the ducks there, because not to put too fine a point on it, they shite everywhere.
Okay.
but
I get it.
If you're throwing the bread into the, £100 fine.
£100.
Have they not got
Just say stop it. Exactly. Just say stop it. I mean, it's just insanity. Charlie Lawson.
Yeah.
So great to speak. We'll speak next week, Charlie. Thank you so much.